What's up, guys? This is Automotive Anonymous, and that is the Ram Rebel. These are really cool. This one's maximum steel metallic, and we're gonna review it today. We're gonna do a walk around, go through the specs, initial driving impression, 0 to 60 with the GPS to see how fast it is at the end, and final thoughts to decide, is the Ram Rebel, is this competitor to the F-150 Tremor or the Chevy TrailBoss potentially worth your time and money? I borrowed this one from Twin Falls Chevy. I'll link it below. They're good people to work with. Otherwise, we're gonna get right into it. For 2023, there are 8 trim levels of the Ram, and the Rebel is one of the higher competitors. It's pretty darn loaded, and it has a really cool off-road appearance and presence and capability. Man, does America love trucks, because there are over 500,000 Rams sold every single year in the United States, and just under 100,000 sold in Canada. In comparison to that, the Silverado sells pretty similar, Sierra sells about half as many, and then Ford tops them all in the 600,000 and 700,000 range pretty easily every single year. This Ram has the 5.7 liter pushrod V8 Hemi, which is a pretty darn good one. It makes 395 horse, 410 torque, and it actually has the VVT e-torque system. That gains 16 horse and 130 pounds of torque underneath the curve. So when you're cruising around, you can expect high teens, low 20s. The low 20s is on the highway, so with the gas tank right there on the driver's side, 33 gallons, you're gonna be road tripping for in the 700 range ballpark. That's of course the American unit. If you're a Canadian friend, you're looking at over 1,000 kilometers highway traveling in your Ram Rebel. The size of this behemoth is pretty close to the TrailBoss I reviewed a little while ago, if you guys have seen that video. It's about 19.3 feet long, 6.5 feet wide, and 6.8 feet tall. Of that length, the bed is just over 5.5 feet. Total cargo volume of the bed is about 60 cubic feet. Payload ranges from 1,600 to 1,800 pounds. That's a whole lot of stuff to be fitting in the bed. And towing capacity with this powertrain is up to 12,750 pounds. Not too bad. 11.1 inches of ground clearance, and 2 options for the final drive ratio. You can either have a 392, not to be confused with the 392 Hemi, or a more conservative 321. I think Ram has the best visually appealing factory exhaust in the business. The dual pipes that they've had for quite a while now just looks fantastic. And for being the monstrosity that this is, the whole vehicle only weighs about 5,300 pounds. It has a 12-foot wheelbase, so it feels very planted on the road. And those 33-inch Wrangler tires, they're 275, 70, 18, and they look really good. Very impressive. A lot of sidewall and very aggressive tread, as you have come to know from Goodyear tires. One of my favorite parts about the Ram Rebel is the hood bulge, reminding you that you're driving an e-torque Hemi. Ram Rebels start in the low $50,000 ballpark for 2023 and the previous few years of this 5th gen. And they basically just have the off-road goodies, the tires, the suspension, you can see right there, the front skid plate, dark badging. It looks really good. If you can't tell, it's getting pretty windy out here, so I think it's a good time to hop inside and see what else it has to offer. It does have proximity key features for lock and unlock, and then remote start. The door panel looks really good. You have a lot of nice soft touch and appealing trim pieces. Memory seats, your controls, and you have the double pockets for extra snacks and milk bones for the dog with your 2 bottle holders right there. You could probably even fit a can of Coke there if you needed to. Nothing really on the door sill. You get the power options for the driver, really nice Ram stamped seats. And they're heated, they feel great. Rubberized mats and pedals, hood release down here. OBD2 port underneath, electronic parking brake, pedal adjustment, lighting options. Really nice black interior with the grab handle on the 8-pillar. Firing it up with the push button start. Wheel moves well, leather wrapped, it is heated, and you have a lot of good settings. I do like the stamping for Ram above the instrument cluster. You do have storage up here with a household style outlet. And when it's fired up, all the settings that it has are turned on. The screen is appealing, easy to use. Backup camera, it's really good. And the projection trajectory lines move with you. Hazards up here. that's how you shift between your gears in reverse. Auto start stop. Axle lock. Yeah, you have a lot of good stuff back here. Trailer brake, traction control, tow haul mode, and a couple plugins in an aux right there. And then just some good storage throughout. This is actually pretty deep, cup holders. And then the dual stage with the single USB in the center console. Nothing to plug in down here, but it's very deep. You could probably fit a whole 12-pound turkey down here if you had to. Up top, you have the controls for the window in the rear. Who misses the days when you could just reach back and slide that yourself? And then lighting up top, incandescent, and then Ram safety assist features up there. Garage door openers right there. It does have the 9 amplified speakers and the subwoofer in here, but otherwise it's just a really cool place to be. We're gonna hop in the back and sit behind ourselves now. The back doors follow suit for the theme. Just like the front, you even get the double pockets. So you have your own extra storage for snacks, 1 bottle, and a nice big speaker. You have nothing on the door sill, rubberized mats, 60/40 split for the lift, and just like the Chevys, it lifts up easy. There's a whole lot of room to put stuff underneath there. Leather seats, incandescent lighting up top, and speakers literally everywhere on this Uconnect 12 package. At 5'11", I have about a cubit's worth of room in front of my knees. I have a backseat map pocket so I can be chauffeured. I can tell them where I want to go in the Ram, whether it's on-road or off-road. I have cup holders back here, ventilation, household style outlet, heated seats, plugins, and my own hidden snack pocket right there. You could probably fit a Pop-Tart, about 3 inches of a Pop-Tart if you want, or maybe 4 graham crackers stacked tall. Otherwise, you have armrests with 2 cup holders. They're sturdy and secure, and I have just a lot of room back here. Feels like a small living room. But let's hop around and see what the bed looks like. Camera in the handle, lowered, and then we have tie downs on each corner, and it does have its spray and bed liner, which looks pretty cool. It's not the fancy Ram bed. It doesn't have the storage compartments on the side either, but it does the job. This is a work truck, an off-road vehicle. The passenger rear door panel looks basically identical. I do like the tint, it looks nice, and this steel paint color just looks fantastic. Anyways, we have another grab handle. I really like the old school lock and unlock feature, and then a map pocket, so you can have oppositionally directing backseat drivers. You just don't want to be the center person in this. If there's not a 5th passenger, then Ram actually did a really good job with the width of the seat. It's kind of like the truce or the safety zone, so that there's a little bit less physical contact connecting the potentially less than pleasant and pleased with each other backseat drivers. Otherwise, the 60 split lifts easy. Lots of room. The backseat of full-size trucks is just fantastic. And finally, if you're riding shotgun, what do you get up front? Another giant bellowing out door pocket with the double section. A few nice trim pieces, and you're just missing a few options that the driver otherwise has. Rubberized mats, power seats, the leather that has the Ram Rebel stamping just looks so dang good. It's really a nice place to be. You have a little bit of extra storage right here for your diary or your notebook, or maybe some mail, junk mail, bills, whatever you don't want to be looking at from the driver's seat. Locking glove box, it is kind of small inside. You'd think that a full-size truck would have more, but then you do have the sort of hidden Rebel upper glove box, which I really like. Comment below, what are you gonna hide in there? It's obvious that someone hid some snacks in here last. Time to finally get around front and see what this big whopping Hemi V8 actually looks like under the hood. We're gonna teleport inside and take it for a drive, but I wanna mention, I don't think I've talked about the transmission. The 8-speed ZF, those are really good and they get a lot of praise from a lot of people. Initial driving impressions of the Rebel is, it's straight up awesome. It feels really good. I think I might like it more than the TrailBoss. It feels really planted. That Hemi, as you'll see in a few minutes, it's pretty fast. It does a great job. It gets right up to speed. That ZF transmission does a fantastic job. And because it's a full-size truck, Visibility is really good. Statistically, you are less likely to cause an accident being in a full-size truck than the person that you'd be involved with that accident in, probably because you have better visibility, better dimensions, really big side mirrors, so whether you're towing a trailer or a ghost trailer, you're gonna be able to see pretty far back. And then because the cabin isn't that long, the rear view mirror does exceptionally well. The brakes are pretty linear. There's not really a sharpness or a bite. And because you can tow twice as much as this truck weighs, the brakes are gonna be really confident when you're unloaded. I like the heated feature on the steering wheel, the seats. I think Ram does a good job with that. And then I always like the 6 o'clock handle position on trucks. Bolstering is pretty good, not too aggressive, so most people are gonna be very comfortable in this. I could probably be several inches taller as well and feel just at home. It's just a really nice place to be. Everything is well thought out. The layout's decent. It still is weird for me to see the scrolly dial for the gear select, but it is what it is. Ram's been doing this for a while now. The big, nearly foot diagonal screen does an okay job, but I am glad that we have physical buttons for climate controls, just like my Outback Wilderness. The screen looks nice, but I don't like everything being controlled by that personally. Armrest comfort is fantastic throughout. Something I forgot to mention earlier, guys, is you can actually slide that and reveal a little bit more space. So by not having the 6th passenger or the front bench, you really fit a lot of good stuff back there. Road noise and wind noise, not bad. We only have about a 7 to 10 mile per hour wind today, but the cabin is really well insulated and these Alpine speakers sound fantastic. If you were to go aftermarket intake or exhaust, I think that would really open up the depth of this throaty Hemi engine. But it feels really good, and it is just responsive. It's quick, even at our altitude. I think it does a great job. What are your thoughts, guys? Have you driven one of these, or are you looking at the competition? The 12-foot wheelbase and the weight that it has feels really planted on the road. Knowing that you have 11.1 inches of ground clearance means you don't have to move out of the way of many things. If there's debris, small animal roadkill, tires in the road, you could basically just ride over them. You don't have to unsafely swerve and get out of the way like you would if you had 4 inches of ground clearance in some coupe, 5 or 6 in the sedan. And getting about 20 mpg, it's not really any surprise that more people are going to trucks and SUVs. The capacity that this one offers is just great. I really like the interior. It's comfortable, it's very smooth. The seats are just so comfortable between that and the suspension. I feel like I'm floating, which is kind of weird to say for a truck, but more and more trucks, especially in this ballpark price range, are becoming to feel like they're luxury vehicles, or what luxury was just a few years earlier. Anyways, guys, we're gonna get to our private road so I can show you just how fast this is on GPS. 0 to 60, true altitude is about 4,000 feet, but density altitude today is about 3,000 feet. So we're down on power over 10% in this Ram. We have traction control off. I'm gonna brake rev the 8-speed and we'll see what it can do. I'll verbalize the true time and then I'll post the GPS graph right after. The bottom left shows what it did without the foot of rollout. Let's begin. I should say we were in 4 auto for that run, and true 0 to 60 came in at 6.85, so without the foot rollout, I bet you're actually going to see pretty close to what this is rated in the mid-6s. And then at sea level or in colder temps, it would actually be decently better. But this pulls really good for a 5.7. Final thoughts of the Ram Rebel is I honestly think it's an incredible truck. I really like driving it. It feels good. It's very quick with a sub-7 true 0 to 60 at 4,000 feet of altitude. This is a quick truck. That actually competes pretty close to like the GM 6.2 or some of those other rivals. It's not as fast as the Ford with the 3.5 EcoBoost. That thing was nasty when I drove that in the 5s, but for being a gasser, a pushrod V8, it's reliable, it looks good, it sounds good, and you feel very confident driving it. I would honestly consider this if I were in the market for a full-size truck. If you're not familiar with a full-size truck, because I know people compare all sorts of vehicles, they're easy to drive, they feel good, but after hopping out of my Miata right before I got here, Man, this is a big truck, but dang, does it feel good driving it. You feel like you can see a lot. You feel like you can do a lot. This is high limits for being a 1,500 half-ton truck. Yeah, you can enjoy life. You can do a lot of things in this, and you're not very limited. Even the gas mileage of it could be decent with that e-torque motor. But guys, I need to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Do you like it? Do you not? Have you owned one? Are you gonna own one? Or at least go test drive one if you're interested. Compared to the competition, I really like the TrailBoss. I haven't driven a Tremor yet, but I don't know. I might like this more than the TrailBoss, and that's saying a lot because I'm traditionally a GM person as far as trucks and performance goes. Anyways, guys, if you like my style, please consider bookmarking the channel. That means subscribe so that you can watch more of my stuff and find it easily. Like to help this video get shared if you would do so. And then again, just comment below because I'd like to hear from you guys. Otherwise, have a fantastic rest of your day. Remember, I'm gonna link the dealer website below because they're a good one to work with. A lot of great people there. And until next time, guys, take care.